And that's why you really need to make sure you get the right ointment.
Thank you.
Oh, hello, Gary. I didn't see you there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is Thursday night. You have made the correct choice in all of your YouTube viewing and Facebook viewing. You are on the American Sci-Fi Classics Track, and tonight we're talking about one of my top 3 favorite subjects, me. Because tomorrow, apparently, some say the legend has foretold that tomorrow is my birthday.
Ooh.
And thank you. But a fun thing that we are going to do, that we've done a couple of times before, is we just do cool stuff with the birthday person. Gary, of course, we've done stuff with, and yours is coming up, buddy. So whatever happens tonight.
This is the training ground.
Yes. So welcome everybody to my little online virtual birthday roast or whatever it is you people are doing. Let's introduce everybody. First, one internet away from me, Kevin.
Hi, I am Kevin. I am from the Flopcast, which is a silly, goofy podcast we do on the ESO network. And when I'm not there, I'm here on the Classics Track to congratulate Joe on being born.
Thank you. And the other Kevin.
Happy birthday, Mr. Co-Track Director. Happy birthday to you. Hi, I'm Kevin. I make podcasts that people don't listen to and documentaries that people don't watch.
You should make a podcast about the documentary.
That would be pretty
Nice.
good.
Or a documentary about the podcast.
Oh,
And I'm going to switch it up. Lola.
I'm Lola Lariscy. I'm a writer and podcaster and stuff, and the world's newest notary. Though I'm realizing it costs more than I'll probably ever make, so I'm kind of regretting that. But other than that, I'm just a doggy mom and a kitty mom, and just trying to make the world go round.
Much like Superman, but in reverse. And Elizabeth.
No, he did at the end of the first movie.
That's right.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth, aka apparently now the Internet Ghost.
That's right.
I am also the greatest living writer that no one has ever read. That will change someday.
I hope so.
I'm also some random person that Joe decided to expose to the world for some reason.
Yes.
I'm very
Tonight We're
scared.
in the Alice position in our little Brady Bunch, so welcome.
Apparently, she got a lot of side stuff going on during that.
Elizabeth, of course, is making pork chops and applesauce for all of us later on. And right below,
Well, if you wanna die.
below Elizabeth, our friend Chris. How are you?
Hi, I totally crashed this panel. I was just trying to watch it, and
That's okay.
Yes.
Look, you can hang
Now
out, or I'll look. Say an awful pun, and I'll boot you out like I do Gary.
Oh God. Are you a
come up with
podiatrist? Because I think tonight's could be a very good shoe.
All right, no, Chris, no, you're out of here.
Happy birthday, Joe!
Oh.
I love it. So what we've done over the past week, our friend Tony Ann, who is stalking the chat room right now, constructed a Facebook forum so everybody could send anonymous questions and topics and such to me, so I don't know what we're talking about tonight.
Mm-hmm. So she sent them to me, to be accurate.
She sent them to you, so Gary knows what.
I have the power.
He does.
By Graceful.
I'm more of a Snake Mountain guy, but you know. And Joe, you can't see it because she posted it on the Facebookie, but Jessa sent you a lovely little happy birthday sticker. The comments in the stretch, the blank StreamYard comment there at 9:03.
I am gonna see. I see that. I'm gonna see everybody. I've already gotten a birthday wish from a friend of mine in China because it's already my birthday there, apparently, and a friend of ours, Super Dave Farnell, is in Japan. He'll be sending me something pretty soon, I'm sure. And the dogs, of course, the dogs have come out.
They always got it.
Lola let the dogs out. Finally, we got an answer.
It's Joe's birthday somewhere.
That's right. It's
So
always Joe's birthday in some sort of quantum realm.
Yep. So Gary, let's. I've girded myself. So let's do this.
All right. So the way this is going to work is we have responses from various people, and some of them actually submitted their name to know who's
Big
tormenting
mistake.
you, including Deanna. Yes, that Deanna.
Oh.
Deanna and the boy, and Deanna of the North, who are all, I believe, the same Deanna. And if she's not watching, I'm going to make even more fun of her later. Keith DeCandido and Kyle McCraw and Lola. Chris Cummins, who got booted. Michael Faulkner, Lynn Derman, Ryan Schweck, our good friend Ryan Schweck.
Yeah.
And Tony Ann and Jessa have all submitted. I don't know which of these are from whom, so I'll let you make a guess. But the way this is going to work, I'm going to throw this out, and we will briefly discuss each topic. Joe has to go first, and hopefully we can stump him. So, are people ready?
Sure.
All right. And people commenting at home, please remember to let StreamYard have permission. Oh, yep, and Deanna is watching. Hi, Deanna. All right, so get StreamYard permission for your name, blah, blah, blah. We say it every week. No one ever listens. Let's go on. So I am going to start with one that is probably going to be near and dear to your heart, Joe. And we're going to, I think this one may stump you, so we're going to start here with, what would it take for you to hate the idea of a manimal panimal?
Tough. That is tough. Let me see. If all right, Manimal Panimal, what would it take for me to hate it?
Mm-hmm.
If no one actually changed into an animal, and if we had to sit and talk for an hour about a show called Manimal where no one changed into an animal and everyone just sat around and talked about their feelings about not having animal powers. So, Jonathan, what do you feel? Man, I wish I could turn into a rhino. I wish you could too. But what I really wished I could talk about, I wish I could turn into a grasshopper. Really? Well, tell me why you feel that way. An hour of that. That would be a Manimal Panimal that I would not care for.
All right. Kevin.
Yeah, I think it's so hard to derail, so hard to ruin a Manimal Panimal. It's a classic. We always love doing it here on the Classics Track. I'd say what if everyone on the panel and everyone in the room just hated Manimal, thought Manimal was stupid? That would, I know it's a crazy hypothetical, but that could potentially ruin the Manimal Panimal.
If somehow people were just like, this freaking show, why? 8 episodes was too many.
Yeah, I walked into the wrong room. I thought this was a support group for people who can't stand animal transformations.
I can't believe you people like that.
And Keith, yes, I still have trouble with your last name because I'm a loser.
Oh, Gary.
I almost copped to saying I did it on purpose just to get your goat, but I know you don't have a goat. All right, Kevin.
I would say I would be disappointed if, like when I would sit down to watch Manimal as a kid, and I would sit down to watch the show to see someone turn into a GD animal, and for 7 minutes in this hour-long show, he would do that, and the rest would be running around. So if the Manimal Panimal, in tribute to the show, only spent 7 minutes talking about Manimal and spent the rest of the time doing anything but, I would be disappointed.
Because there was like restaurant scenes. There's scenes at discos. They're walking to and from the warehouse.
And I was watching the show for one reason and one reason only: to watch this dude turn into an animal.
How dare you people? And look, twice an episode, and it's the same transformation. Come on,
Elizabeth.
How to ruin the panel?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. You could have someone who decided that they just want a dark and gritty reboot of this show. And they proceed to lay out all 3 or 4 episodes they've already written at home on their computer.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I will neither confirm nor deny that Joe has actually written episodes of Trainable, where Manimal turns into Super Train.
It's a combo. It's the perfect combination.
It's like when Charlie's Angels went on the Love Boat.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Clearly, the Charlie's Angels and Love Boat universes are all the same cinematic universe.
I almost bought, last weekend, I went to a place called Second Chance Toys and Collectibles, and I almost bought, because I couldn't believe it existed, and I needed to have it, a Love Boat action figure of Doc.
That is amazing that exists.
Doc was involved in a lot of action on that boat, so I guess that's appropriate.
Yes, he was.
There's going to be one.
We
and
spent,
he had the medicine to treat the chlamydia, so
we spent a lot of time talking about Doc on the Flopcast just a few weeks ago.
Joe and I spent 2 weeks talking about the Love Boat. That is correct.
The sad part is it was under $20.
Ooh.
Okay. I'm going to find this place.
Yeah, Gary, we're going to need you to run back to that shop on our behalf. Got a mission for you now.
Well, that's Gary's birthday panel sorted.
Gary's birthday panel is, we're just talking about that Love Boat action figure and nothing else.
Lola.
All right. Manimal's actually there. He's the only panelist, but it's a whole hour of him getting a mani-pedi. Not saying a word. Just getting his manis done, his petties done.
Is he in animal form?
Yeah,
is this happening?
A human or just a Black Panther getting its claws taken care of?
No, because that would be too much work.
That would be way too entertaining. You're right.
Yeah, it would be too much. Yeah, no, it's just his human. Yeah, it would be interesting if he were in his manimal form, but no, it's just the human form.
No. This is
and
just
it's an hour.
Simon McCorkindale saying, "No questions. I'm not speaking. This is my time."
This is me on the Dragon Con app giving it a very poor rating.
Exactly. And he's getting his mani-pedis done, and no one can speak to him or look him in the eye.
I like it.
But he's method acting, so occasionally it's rare.
Yes. Simon McCorkindale, the legendary Simon McCorkindale, of course, on Falcon Crest, he played the Falcon.
Of course. All right, Joe. Round 1 is done. How do you feel? Are you warmed up? We started with Manimal to keep getting kind of ease you in your comfort zone.
Thank you. I don't feel a day over 84.
So, our next question is, where did it go? I just had it.
Famous last words.
Mm-hmm. So, it is almost your birthday.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that it? Yeah. Kevin, what do you think? Is it almost my birthday?
I disagree.
Not stumped.
Do you submit to the games, the carousel, or do you run like Logan?
That's a tough question. I love the apparel options available in the Logan's Run realm. I especially love the black turtleneck with the gray stripe. So I feel like in order to, because you think carousel's great, man. Nobody knows. I'm going to go ahead and run. I'm going to go ahead and run just because maybe I want to see what's outside. After carousel, what else is there? I feel like, am I finished at that point? I don't know. I don't know the secret. I don't know what's happening. I'm gonna run. I'm doing it.
You're running.
That's the move. I completely agree. You got to. It's the name of the thing is Logan's Run. You got to run. And I would say run right out of the movie, right into the TV series that followed.
Yes.
Because the TV show is fantastic. And they are just on the run. They're out there in the world. They have an android buddy along with them. And,
there's not like a time limit like in the movie. They're just like, boom, we're out.
Jenny Agutter has been replaced by Heather Menzies. It's fantastic.
That's 50, wow.
Either way, they're the Railway Children.
They're both great, but
they are.
You got to run. You got to run.
Kevin,
I'm going run, even though twisted my ankle recently. I'm still. I think carousel is that's. I don't think that's a good move. I think
even if that's all you knew, but you knew at 30, that's when carousel happens. I feel like in my tiny robe, I'm thinking maybe this is not okay. Elizabeth,
I have to agree with the others. I'm running. I wouldn't know what's going on out there, and plus, I already have my disastrous event hit at 30, so nothing can be much worse than that. So I'm running. I want to go.
And Lola?
I'm a maverick. I'm going to spend a week in front of the TV watching Logan's Run because I don't remember anything about it.
Good. Okay.
So for the majority of the panel, it's a run. It's a run.
Run.
Gary.
You're going to run like Sean Cassidy.
Yes.
Another excellent reference. We're only 17 minutes in.
That's what we do.
Like you did.
All right.
All right. Here we go.
All right. So our next one is, I believe we already know the answer to this because it was at Dragon Con. But, and Mr. Batchelder is not here to defend the other entrant, but best sci-fi heroine, Debbie Gibson or Tiffany? And who wins in the sing-off?
You guys, I several years ago, I believe this was around the time that we started being co-directors, Gary.
Mm-hmm.
Over on
our 2012, 2013, somewhere around there.
Over around our pal Kelly's American SF and Fantasy Media Track, we did, along with our buddy Kevin Batchelder, he and I co-hosted a showing of a movie that's, dare I say, not that great. And of course, we've adopted that kind of thing onto our track now, but we don't commentate during. We just make you suffer.
Because we like it.
Yes. And you have to be
suffering, not the movie.
Yeah, the thing is, we didn't lock anybody in on mine and Kevin Batchelder's panels. Maybe we should have.
Yeah, we learned.
Yes. However, the movie was, I believe, Megapython and Gatoroid, and that movie was something. It was a lot. I want to say, as I recall, I was Team Tiffany and Kevin was Team Debbie. And we had T-shirts. And I contacted both Debbie Gibson and Tiffany on the social media and heard back from them not at all. So, they were like, no, I'd rather not say. But I'm going with Tiffany only because, although I am also a fan of Debbie Gibson, Miss Deborah Gibson, as she's known on the Broadway. I'm a fan of Tiffany's in this movie, especially because there's a scene at the end where a helicopter is pulling them up out of a Megapython Gatoroid tar pit or area, a dangerous area, shall we say. I don't remember. And when Debbie Gibson arrives safely in the helicopter, it's stock footage and clearly a green screen of Debbie climbing up 2 steps on the ladder and going, wow, I'm safe. But then for Tiffany, they do a live action wide shot of poor Tiffany dangling in midair from the rope ladder all out of the helicopter. So it appears that Debbie Gibson just went on a set, and Tiffany nearly died. Because the ladder, because these were sci-fi creature features, they didn't really
Asylum movies, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they kind of kept it all in. There was no time to edit things. So in the big finale, there's Tiffany hanging on for dear life on this rope ladder, and it's spinning like this. So the movie almost killed Tiffany. So I got to be on Team Tiffany for that.
Tiffany's like Tom Cruise. She insists on doing all her own dangerous stunts, and she always has.
She's the Jackie Chan of 80s singers.
Yeah, whereas for Debbie, they just spliced in a few seconds from the Shake Your Love video, I think. They said, nobody will notice. Just go to throw to the MTV clip.
Nope.
I got to go Team Debbie. I love them both, but Debbie Gibson just completely rules. And I think when you look at what she's done as an artist, going back to when she was 16 years old, and I think she paved the way for people like Taylor Swift that we see today, who really successfully steered their own career. She's fantastic. Jessa, who's out there somewhere. Jessa and I met Debbie.
That is her comment there at 9:23.
Oh, there it is. She's commenting now, although on my screen it just says Facebook user.
Yes, she did not give permission, but thankfully I'm keeping an eye on the Facebook to see who those people are.
Yeah, Jessa and I actually met Debbie together a few years ago, which was insane. I will grant this, though, in Tiffany's favor, a little more sci-fi cred on Tiffany's part. When they did the Jetsons movie back in the 80s, Tiffany was the voice of Judy Jetson.
Oh.
All right.
Kevin?
I think what you described, Joe, is a testament to Debbie's smarter business acumen. I think Tiffany, if you want someone to perform in a mall, she has great choice in covers. She did a Tommy James song. She did a Beatles song. Yeah. Much love for Tiffany. But I think for Debbie Gibson, this is a woman who had her own Electric Youth perfume while she was diversifying early. And I think her management said, you know what? We're going to nix the helicopter shot. Tiffany's management were like, helicopter shot? Sure. Tiff will do that. So
yeah, later they realized that helicopter shot wasn't a euphemism.
Yeah. I got to go Debbie, #girl boss.
And Deanna, you're also anonymous. So you're respecting Jess's desire to be anonymous also reflects upon yourself.
Right there. Nice. Okay.
Elizabeth.
There is no Tiffany, only Debbie.
Ooh.
I was the world's biggest Debbie Gibson fan. I will admit to that. I absolutely. Plus, I believe she originated Belle on Broadway, and she was fantastic. A friend of mine got to see her in that, and I didn't speak to her for a week. I'm kidding. But Debbie, because Debbie had artistry, Debbie was writing her own lyrics. She was writing her own music. She was playing her instruments. And she played a piano like I did, and I just really, really liked that. And all her music is really upbeat and really popular, and it's bubbly and it makes you happy. I still listen to it. I admit it right here, right now. Yeah. I still listen to it. They're solid albums and they're fun. Tiffany, something about her just put me off. So, Team Debbie all the way.
Okay.
All right, and Lola.
When it comes to music, Debbie Gibson, because she wrote her own stuff. I think she even played the keyboard or whatever.
Yes.
Didn't she? So music, her. Sci-fi, end of the world apocalypse thing, Tiffany. We all need, she's a utility player, and we need that. We need the person who will hang from the helicopter. I want to be on her team. So Tiffany, for the end of the world scenario.
There it is.
Get the knockout punch.
And I'm going to say that you're all wrong. It's actually Debbie Gibson. And we will now move on.
Mojo Nixon doesn't have any songs about Tiffany.
That's true. He does not.
Someone wrote a song about Debbie Gibson.
Yeah.
I'll have to look it up later. That's great.
So, The Fantastic Journey, the 1977 TV adaptation of the movie, Was it short-lived because it was ahead of its time, or because it was bad?
Yes.
Yes. I remember being obsessed with that show because I had no idea what was going on. And I would dare say that I was able to follow most sci-fi things, but Fantastic Journey threw me completely. At one point, they're lost in time, and then there's an episode where they're back home, but clearly it's a trap. And Roddy McDowell is there, and he's usually a bad guy and or in an ape suit. Why is he helping? So Fantastic Journey, I'm going to say, now, before it's time, perhaps, I got to say, a super confusing show today could last 7 years, like Lost. But Fantastic Journey, it never said Fantastic Destination. It just said that journey is fantastic. And it was fantastic in the sense, in not the yay, it's great sense, but in the what is happening sense. So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say ahead of its time. And also bad.
Deanna, we can see you now. All right, Kevin.
Yeah, I totally agree ahead of its time because I think I prefer going ahead a few years. Fantastic Journey was 1977, but go up to 1985, and similar concept was Otherworld. And I feel like that's not that Otherworld was a huge improvement.
No, it was
that did not last long and was not great, but I love it, and I love the ambition of having that concept of a series where it's people who go swept into this weird space-time continuum weirdness, and then everywhere they go every week, they're finding this whole new strange, completely different sort of a world, and which to do that, from week to week, as far as sets, budget, costuming, everything's different every week. I love the ambition involved in these projects, and it's a shame that neither one of them lasted long, because man, Otherworld I was all in on. I also like about Fantastic Journey, it's that it was the Bermuda Triangle, right? They went into the Bermuda Triangle, and that's such a crazy 70s concept where
it's like
all of a sudden we were obsessed as a world with this ridiculous Bermuda Triangle concept.
I was convinced that my life was either going to end thanks to the 70s, either due to quicksand or the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It was good. We're all going to go one way or the other. Absolutely.
There's only two ways.
Yeah. My luck, it would be quicksand in the Bermuda Triangle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, I've made it to the Bermuda Triangle. Wow, this is not bad. Whoa!
Why do we keep sending people there?
Hey, Bermuda's nice.
True.
It's that triangular part.
What a cheap flight.
Kevin.
Well, I'm going to say ahead of its time because, lest we forget, about 20 years later in the late 90s, Coolio had a massive hit with Fantastic Voyage.
He did.
Now I'm hearing it in my head.
Building off the work done in Fantastic Journey.
You've got to do it. You got to go hard. Clearly, Coolio, very influenced by Roddy McDowell.
Yes.
Oh, indeed. That's where he got his hair.
Yeah.
The two are very strongly connected.
Oh, yes. Elizabeth.
All right. Since this is equal panel, equal roast, I'm just going to say I don't know anything about it because unlike Joe, I wasn't born yet.
Oh! The pain.
I was
waiting for that to happen.
I was born in 1978, so not much off.
And I'm gonna say,
oh, sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna make a stupid joke, and since it's my panel, I can't boot myself. I was just gonna say that clearly Fantastic Journey is better than Otherworld because it didn't say Fantastic Otherworld.
That's true.
It's just some other world.
Yep.
It didn't say super cool Otherworld.
We're not saying it's any better. It's just something other than what you currently are.
That's right. It's not. Here's your Fantastic Journey. Yeah. Here's this other world.
Hey, Lola.
Well, I was born in 1971. So there's no excuse for me not knowing about this show. But I think it failed because I've never heard of it.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Can't
easy to
succeed
miss.
without me.
It was very easy to miss, Lola. It was not around for long.
Apparently, Wikipedia says February to June of like 77 or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I
And
was
I mean-
living the large life in elementary school. I was like in first grade. What were you saying, Kevin?
We did a panel about 1977 science fiction TV on the Classics Track a few years ago, and we didn't even mention this show. That's how many things were on the air that year.
Yeah.
Mhm. It was a great time for sci-fi on TV. It wasn't
And-
good sci-fi, but it was on TV.
It was there, so
totally
we watched it.
on there. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to combine two questions into one hybrid Voltron question because they're related, at least in my mind.
Okay, I'm ready.
So, who is your favorite Muppet? Why are they your favorite Muppet? And if the Muppet Show were to be revived in present day, what would be your top 3 must-see guests?
Ooh.
That's a big one. I am happy to say that now we're the puppetry track. A lot of Muppet obsession. I appreciate it. I think that my favorite Muppet is... Well, that's tough. I want to say Fozzie, but I also want to say Statler and Waldorf. But that's 2, and it's hard to pick Statler or Waldorf, so I'm going to go with Fozzie Bear.
All right. And your 3 modern guests for a new Muppet Show.
3 modern guests for a new Muppet Show, that would be, let's see, I feel like you got to have you got to have, I feel like Lin-Manuel Miranda has already done something with the Muppets, and if he hasn't, he's missed a good chance.
Mhm.
So I'm not gonna put him on the list. I feel like I want Kate McKinnon to do something with the Muppets because
Yes.
she can do everything, and the Muppets would be she would be perfect, I think, on an episode of the Muppet Show. Also, I feel like I want you also need throughout your Muppet continuity on the original show, you need someone who is totally confused by what's going on. Because every few episodes, there'd be a celebrity who's like, you can kind of tell they're like, what is happening? While the Muppets are doing their thing all around them. Like, like Fred Astaire, I think.
Mhm.
He didn't quite know what was happening. I don't know if I think it's Fred Astaire. I don't know. I know who Fred Astaire is. Thank you. I recall there being an elderly, even at the time, an elderly show person who clearly was totally perplexed by why he was doing that show. And there are all these people bouncing around. So you got to have somebody like that. And so for guest number 2, I feel like it has to be somebody like a I want to say a Jay Leno, but only because he totally isn't going to get it, and he's going to try to keep doing his thing, and the Muppets are like, no, we're doing this thing over here, and he's not going to have any idea what's going on. So for guest number 3, you got to have a musician. You got to have a musician who is a lot of times super into the Muppets and clearly loves doing like performances with Janice and with the Electric Mayhem Band, the winners of Battle of the Fictional Bands. I'm going to say Lady Gaga would be great on the Muppet Show.
That was the second you said musician. That's who I thought of.
So there you go.
She did a holiday special with the Muppets, I believe.
Oh my gosh, she's already been.
All right. See, Joe, you're that good.
Classic Track leads the way.
All right, Kevin.
Yeah. All right. So my favorite from, and we're talking strictly Muppet Show, right?
Correct.
Not Sesame Street. Okay. All right. Because my real answer would be the Yip Yips, the aliens.
Of course.
But
Yep.
if we're sticking strictly Muppet Show, I guess Zoot, the saxophone player, was just so. I like how he's just cool and quiet and just doing his own thing.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, all my thoughts I had are being stolen because I thought of Lady Gaga already, and I see there's a comment about Conan O'Brien, and I like that one as well. Conan has that kind of manic energy like a Muppet. When you mentioned Kate McKinnon, the SNL people, when you think of, there's so many people from SNL over the last 30 whatever years since the Muppet Show ended.
Yeah.
Most of the run of SNL, and so many of those people would be so, Fred Armisen, I'm imagining, with the Muppets. So that I'm not going to bother listing three, but I would say grab three people from Saturday Night Live. We saw hardly any of them really. Even though the Muppets themselves were part of SNL originally, right? That weird Henson Muppet thing that was happening season 1, and Steve Martin we saw in the movie, but I don't feel like there's been enough crossover between Saturday Night Live and the Muppets.
Agreed.
So yeah, I would just send those people on.
Just like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, they did a Keegan-Michael Key.
Yes.
And Kenan Thompson and the Muppets, or the parody Muppets in that sketch, were amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, some friends of mine who do some professional puppeteering were very amused by how poorly Statler and Waldorf were being handled. Yeah, yes. Puppeteered. The puppeteering was not the best, but it was a very, very funny sketch.
And if you would like to know more about the Muppet Show and the Muppets and their actions on Saturday Night Live, check out A Feat of Lunatic Daring, a podcast by our good friend Chad J. Shonk, which does spend a whole episode talking about the Muppets on SNL.
All right.
Kevin?
My favorite Muppet from the Muppet Show is Ralph, because what I like about Ralph is he can hang with the Order Muppets, he can hang with the Chaos Muppets. He's a really cool guy. He loves out of tune pianos. He can do a dumb sketch. He can do a song. I really like how Ralph is in the sea of Muppet chaos. He's always kind of got it together. In terms of guests, from rewatching the classic Muppet Show on Disney Plus, one thing I'm noticing is that the best hosts a lot of the times tend to be triple threats, people who can sing, dance, and act.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I keep thinking like Beyonce or like Broadway star like Laura Benanti. I think she would be fantastic. Like, it's people like that. I think those are the people who, so they can do the song and dance numbers and they can do the comedy. And I really love when a Muppet Show guest seems to be like absolutely delighted to be surrounded by Muppets.
Yes.
Like, you look at Rita Moreno in the Rita Moreno episode, that you've never seen anyone happier than when she's just surrounded by Muppets. It's great. And I had immediately thought Lin-Manuel Miranda as well, Joe. Yeah. I was like, he would be so good on the Muppet Show.
Oh, like Christopher Reeve and Mark Hamill also on the original Muppet Show, delighted.
Yes.
You could just tell this is the best thing they've ever done to them at the time.
I'm never going to get to like hang around with that many Muppets, so I have to like live vicariously through them. So I want to see them enjoy it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like Lynn's suggestion of Hugh Jackman.
Oh, he'd be fantastic.
Yeah, he's great in everything.
Elizabeth.
Okay, this should be a surprise to no one, but my favorite Muppet is Miss Piggy, because one high maintenance diva appreciates another. As for guest stars, Ryan Reynolds.
Sure.
Yeah, the man, he'd have a good time. As much as he puts into doing Deadpool and doing everything as Deadpool, he'd have a good time just goofing off.
Mm-hmm.
The second I'd like would be Jane Krakowski.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Jane Krakowski versus Miss Piggy. Who wins? It's hard to say. And my third guess would actually be the incomparable Misty Copeland, just because I want more stupid ballet jokes in the Muppets.
Nice.
Because when Nureyev was on there, the great Nureyev was on there, and they did a joke called Swine Lake. And my little 6-year-old self was apparently on the couch losing my mind laughing at that. Plus, I'm obsessed with ballet, so I'd love to see Misty perform again.
Okay.
Cool.
Lola.
So my favorite is Janet, and it's really only because there's this scene that I may have made up because no one ever knows about it when I say it. And the funny thing is, when I say it, it's kind of an embarrassing line. So if you don't know what it's from, it's just really off the wall and weird, and no one ever knows what it's from. So in my memory,
remember Swan?
Yeah, in my memory, there's a scene where a lot of people are talking, and then all of a sudden everyone stops talking at once, and you hear Janet go, "And we were naked." Did I imagine that? I mean, I wasn't always sober in my early 20s. I may have imagined that. But
I think that happened on one of these panels, Lola.
I feel like it must have.
Probably. And see, I still do it sometimes, and everyone stops and looks at me, and I'm like, I was naked. What can I say?
Yeah.
It happens. But the people I'd have host would be Catherine O'Hara, Eugene Levy, and Dan Levy.
Nice.
Trifecta.
Love it.
Oh, Kyle's suggestion: Hugh Laurie guest starring in Veterinarian's Hospital.
Oh my gosh,
Okay.
Lori, yes.
Lola, were you watching Meet the
I love
Feebles
him.
instead of the Muppet Show, perhaps?
Oh my gosh.
It's entirely
It was
possible.
Janet. It was Janet, because you saw her long, straight blonde hair swinging, and she said, "And we were naked." I
all right.
swear, but I don't know if it was a show or a movie or my imagination or the sunken underneath place. No.
A lot of questions.
Yep.
All right, Gary.
All right. So, next question. I'm really not sure how this is a question. It seems to be more of a statement.
Uh-oh.
It's
I
one
can't
word. Super Train.
Okay. Super Train, I don't know exactly how many episodes it had. I feel like it had to have been fewer than Manimal. It was Love Boat on land. I feel like Tom Bosley was in many episodes. I don't know that we were able to do, Kevin, a couple of episodes about Love Boat. I don't know that you could fill an entire episode with Super Train.
Probably
We could
not.
try.
I think we did try once on the Flopcast.
Okay, all right, we're going to have
discuss-
to, yeah. We may have to revisit that. But at some point on Super Train, did it almost crash, or was it safe? Was Super Train safe in every episode? I want to say that. Because had it almost crashed, then you got a show. Then we got a Snowpiercer kind of situation where Super Train has got to outrun the apocalypse. It's the only safe place on the planet. Maybe that is Super Train. Let's say that. Maybe
I want
Snowpiercer is
the Super Train Love Boat crossover where you take the train to the boat.
What? Gary, you just blew my mind.
Yeah, Super Train was, and I think a lot of people today, I mean, this was 40 years ago or whatever, and
They're going to be like, what? No.
Not well remembered, but yeah, it's the basic Love Boat concept, but a train instead of a boat, but a little more serious. I don't think they used the laugh track on Super Train. They tried to go a little darker, and it was even darker than the Love Boat. The bartender wouldn't give you the point. He would just a menacing sneer. They were an angry bunch running that train, and they the network poured a fortune into Super Train. That was a big budget show because it was not a regular train. They literally built. It was supposed to be a giant futuristic train, the likes of which does not really exist. So they built like little model versions, a couple of different versions that they could shoot like miniatures for some of the shots because it was just this big, bizarre, unrealistic train. So it cost a fortune and nobody watched. It was a disaster.
I love it. I love the idea of people being out of work, I guess. I don't know.
I think we've established.
I was going to say, and Chris Cummins' comment of, we make it a trilogy, it's a team up, you ride the Love Boat to Fantasy Island.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think that's the danger. I think we've established already that late 70s audiences were obsessed with the Bermuda Triangle. The Love Boat, that was always a possibility. The train couldn't get there, so no one tuned in.
The Super Train was just going to go to like Dubuque. It wasn't. It's gonna. Well, we're stopping in Boise. there's nothing.
Please throw up Ryan's comment there.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yep.
We've been lied to.
And Darren, we notice you. Hi, Darren.
Snowpiercer says it's the only safe place is a train.
Mm-hmm.
And super train. We don't know.
All right, Elizabeth.
Okay. This is all I can say about this is one of the many, many examples of why NBC cannot be trusted with genre programming. They don't know what to do with it. They throw money at it, at the effects, but they don't throw money at the writing staff. They just cannot do genre TV very well. And they shouldn't be allowed to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right. Lola?
I have a grudge with NBC.
Well, I think it set its expectations too high by calling it Super Train. It should have
been
called
Average Train.
Right, or Mad Train, or, okay, Train.
What if they just called it Other Train?
Yes.
That would work too.
It's not a fantastic train. It's not a super train. This is
okay train.
Expectations
Okay,
are
train.
low.
I wanted to call it Love Train, but the Ohio players were.
Man, I would watch that every week.
I don't think
that was
that
on
NBC.
HBO. I didn't get
every
HBO
episode,
till 81.
Love Train, and every episode, the Ohio players solve crimes and bring people together. And at the end, they just sing the same song every single episode.
Yeah,
People all over the world are going to join in for that show.
Yep.
All right. Joe, we're going to return to the Manimal Well. You will be shocked at how many Manimal questions there are. It's almost like people think you know something about it. But this one, we're going to do Manimal versus Bigfoot from the $6 Million Man.
Ooh.
Who wins? Show your work.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to say...
You have not thought about this before, of course.
Oh, not until this moment. You gotta figure the intangibles. You gotta figure the pure raw power of a Bigfoot. And while Manimal has the ability to change into animals that exist, we don't know, can he change into animals that are fictional? But, however, apparently, according to the $6 Million Man, in this situation, Bigfoot does exist. And yes, we learn later he's an alien robot, but that's still a creature. That's still a creature. I say we're going to have a Bigfoot versus Bigfoot confrontation. I'm going to say Manimal turns into Bigfoot, and the transformation takes 8 to 12 minutes. And they're in a warehouse, a darkened warehouse. But then you still, even if he turns into Bigfoot, he's still fighting Bigfoot, who has been Bigfoot the whole time. And
that raises the question, though: is Bigfoot an animal?
We never really established that Manimal knew the secrets. He always they said in the opening narration with William Conrad that he knew the secret between man and animal and man. I took that to be that if he wanted, he could have turned into other humans. That would have been smart. But no, he chose to turn into a woodpecker or whatever he happened to need at the time. So I'm going to say Big Feet versus Big Feet. The alien robot who has been Bigfoot the longest is going to be the superior athlete in this situation.
I like Tony Ann's comment. Bigfoot is a really tall Ewok.
Well, that actually tracks because Ewoks, of course, are aliens, are they not? And they do worship robotic people. Perhaps at some point we got a wormhole situation. Look, I think that is what's happened. There you go. Kevin?
Yeah, Bigfoot. In this case, certainly I would give the advantage to Bigfoot because as Joe just kind of mentioned this in passing and swept it aside, but I don't think, I don't want to overlook the fact that this is not Bigfoot we're talking about, that not the traditional North American naturally occurring Bigfoot.
Thank you.
that we all knew and loved from Bigfoot and Wild Boy from
Correct.
Marty Krofft. The
Correct.
the $6 Million Man, Bionic Woman version of Bigfoot was in fact an alien android played by Andre the Giant.
Corrected. I said robot. It is an android.
Yeah. Well, either way, but it's a
Cyborg.
robot. It's a cyborg, an android, an alien, from these otherworldly people, and it's Andre the Giant on top of that. So that's like a quadruple threat at that point. I don't see how Manimal could stand up to that combination. It's Bigfoot, it's a robot, it's an alien, and it's Andre the Giant. Come on.
Indeed.
Although I love the idea of a Bigfoot fight happening, as Joe said, in a dark warehouse, which is obviously where 90% of Manimal takes place, in dark warehouses. But I'm so used to seeing Bigfoot just, out in the wild. I love the idea of Bigfoot in a warehouse.
But why is he in the warehouse?
Yeah,
it's to try to give Manimal an edge.
Yeah.
Bigfoot's out of his environment.
He's holding a clipboard and he's kind of waving a truck that's backing up to the loading dock.
Boop, boop. Yeah.
It's like when Storm and Cyclops fought to be who could be the leader of the X-Men. Storm is like, the terrain is my advantage.
The rain is pouring down.
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin.
Well, I gotta again go with the $6 million Bigfoot, because I think, for the reasons people said, I think Manimal's gonna like turn into a snake and sit there. There'll be some cool music, and then Bigfoot will step on the snake.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Smart.
Elizabeth?
Well, first again, I have to say, what was wrong with the 70s?
Quaaludes.
Something. But I'm actually going to break the trend and go with Manimal, because he could turn in, we've always seen him turn into pretty useless things, but there must be a useful skill in there somewhere. So maybe he could turn into this really large, like raptor-like bird and just grab something and drop it from on high and smash the robot.
See?
Either that or attach him to a really big magnet and then call the feds and wait for them to take the alien away.
Smart.
And I do like the fact that Ryan and Kyle are both on the same wavelength, and throw Harry from Harry and the Hendersons in the middle of this conflict.
Harry, of course, an actual Bigfoot.
Yep.
I want to give the $6 million Bigfoot an edge there, because Harry, of course, is soft-hearted and not an angry Bigfoot. I feel like a $6 million Bigfoot's going to win that fight too.
And Lola.
Andre the Giant, always.
Yes.
Yeah, now I desperately want to see Bionic Bigfoot in a sniglet, by the way.
I
Thank
don't
you,
know,
Deanna.
Deanna. Must have been something bad in a previous life.
Cheers.
The epic, and Darren, yes, the epic rap battle of Manimal. All right. So we're closing in on time, so we're going to kind of do a speed round.
Yes.
Just give a quick answer to these. We have some either or questions. And so we'll go around the horn with everybody. First one will be Journey to the Center of the Earth or 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Which trip do you pick?
I'm going to go 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, because it's 20,000 leagues across the sea. It's not... And so really you're getting a travelogue. You're going to see the pretty koi, and the why is koi the first fish I thought of? You're going to see the cod and the tilapia. Maybe I'm just hungry. But that's you're going to get a travel experience, 20,000 leagues under the sea. But with Journey to the Center of the Earth, it's just rocks, mud, lava. There you go.
All right, Kevin?
I'm going to go to the center of the Earth because I disagree. My theory is that the center of the Earth is made of delicious caramel.
Indeed.
Kevin?
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Again, there's a chance you could wind up in the Bermuda Triangle, which is always exciting. Just center of the Earth, like maybe the quicksand takes you there, but still, I'm going to go with the one that has a Disney ride.
All right. Elizabeth?
Because I always wanted to be a marine biologist when I was growing up. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
I knew I liked you. Lola?
I can't have both.
Yep, have to pick one.
Got to pick one.
I pick Deep Space Nine.
Well, obviously, it's got Garrick.
Yes.
Sure.
That's
Screw the Earth. I'm out of here.
Yep.
All right. Which one of these would you rather visit? These are real. Look. Okay. I don't know what that was, but there we go.
All right. Favorite.
Where would you rather go of these actually existing real locations? The Baked Bean Museum of Excellence or the Packaging Museum?
Oh my gosh. I want to go to both. But I must say, one of my favorite things about going on vacation and going to museums and places of that nature is free samples. And with the baked beans, I'm going to get some baked beans. Packaging, I'm going to get a box. At the baked bean place, I'm going to get a container and the baked beans. Packaging, I'm just going to... No,
You're getting a to-go box.
Yep. You have a to-go box with nothing in it.
Kevin?
Yeah, man, free samples is certainly something to take into consideration when you're choosing your museums. I've been to, by the way, there's a Pez museum. There's two Pez museums. There's one on each coast. I've been to both. So
we only get the top professionals.
Yeah.
This is your dedication to neck candy.
You know, that's right. So hang on, everybody. Enjoy. I'm going to go the Package Museum just because it's so stupid, and I do love stupid things.
Kevin?
I'm going to go the Package Museum because it seems like it would be in kind of a big warehouse, so my hope is that I would get to see Manimal fight Bigfoot in the $6 million man there.
Why didn't I think of that?
Elizabeth?
The Package Museum because maybe it would show me new and better ways to hide the incriminating evidence.
Lola?
Baked beans because in the South, it's you legally have to have barbecue with it.
Yeah.
And I personally am going to go with the Package Museum because I want to be able to say, hey, everybody, check out my package.
Found it in a museum.
It belongs in the museum.
It belongs in a museum.
No. In the back, forgotten.
Yep.
Okay. Another speed round question.
What's in the box?
Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
Such a bad ending.
It is.
How dare you?
Especially for her.
Yes.
Do librarians secretly control the world, as Brandon Sanderson warned us in the Alcatraz versus the Evil Librarians book?
My lovely and amazing wife, Stephanie, is a librarian, and I can confirm it is correct. Yes, they do. 100% absolute control. They just allow us to have things every now and then. Librarians are the best, smartest people, and I'm not only saying this because she's watching this in the other room.
Yeah, there's librarians absolutely can and do and should control everything. I think to really know how to run things, to really be in charge, it really depends on a firm grasp of the Dewey Decimal System.
100%, yes.
Like Joe, I am also very happily married to a fantastic librarian, and I also can confirm that they are running stuff.
Can I just say this? I don't know if anybody knew this, but myself and Kevin married to the top 2 librarians.
Yay.
It was a tie.
Yes.
I like librarians.
Elizabeth?
Keeping it fictional and nerdy, if librarians are running the world, I would be totally okay with letting Rupert Giles or Cassandra Killian run the world.
Sure.
Thank you. Probably be in much better shape.
Lola?
Well, speaking of Cassandra, yes, the librarians is the greatest show in the world.
Yes, thank you.
Definitely. I miss it so much.
Me too.
But I was thinking the librarian has to have a master's degree. So, of course, they're the masters.
Thank you. Exactly.
All right. So we're coming up on time, Joe. How late do you want to go? It's your birthday.
Let's do one more if we have one more.
Oh, we've got several more.
Well, these will be fun. We can do them later. We can do them on another panel. We can do them as little bonus things. We can do them in live action.
I will throw a few spoilers out then for people to think about for the future. Someone mentions Heart Beeps with Andy Kaufman.
Oh gosh, what?
Someone is asking you your opinion on sexual dimorphism in dwarves.
Oh my God. Why didn't we get to that?
I'm so glad we're out of time. I'm so glad
Yes.
we're out of time.
But I'm going to end with this lovely question. Which of Manimal's animal personas would win in a fight? If we had hot Manimal on Manimal action.
Sure. Okay. All right. If it's two Manimals and their transformations, the Panther is going to be a strong contender because he turns into the Panther so often. We're talking Panther-like skills and abilities that he's very familiar with versus any other animal that he doesn't turn into quite as often. He's not super experienced with that. However, we don't know this other Manimal. He could be an evil Manimal like Garth Knight with an E. He could have, of course, a goatee, I'm assuming, would be the evil Manimal. And they would have gotten to that in like episode 9 of Manimal, had there been one. The dream is still alive, people. It's my Wilson Phillips quote of the night. Thank you.
I caught it.
Thank you.
I had that album. I caught it.
Boom. I'm going to say...
I like Ryan's question or comment there.
Look, of course. Yeah. I'm going to say, let's say if the evil Manimal is going to think his Panther is better than the good Jonathan Chase Manimal, and that is not correct. I am going to say Panther. The Panther wins in a battle of Panther versus evil Panther.
I'm going to say the winner would be Manimal transformed into a chicken with a goatee.
Oh, okay. Kevin?
I'm going to say it's going to be like when Sandman and Lucifer were fighting in that first storyline, and eventually good Manimal is going to go, I am hope, and he's going to win.
Yes.
I'm going to steal Ryan's answer and go with the owl will win the fight because it can see in this dark warehouse and claw the Panther's eyes out.
Agreed, Deanna.
Good. All right.
My turn.
All this Manimal talk is going to make me buy the DVD set. I just know it. Do it. Do it, and I'll autograph it.
Not streaming on Peacock.
And that is Chris Cummins, by the way, who says that.
Good.
So, Elizabeth, your answer.
The Panther, because cats naturally win every argument they have.
That's true.
And Lola?
All right, a lot of people don't know this, but they were doing product placement even back then. And there's a forgotten episode that I saw, but a lot of people didn't see. There's one where Manimal was Tony the Tiger from Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. And another one where he was Toucan Sam from Kellogg's Fruit Loops. And you know what? I love both those cereals, but I'm going to say Fruit Loops wins because there's something nice about multicolored cereal.
Indeed.
Silly Manimal tricks are for kids.
Exactly.
All right, so we have more questions for next time, perhaps a whole other panel, another Panimal, as it were.
I'm very excited about the sexual dimorphism question in dwarves, and we're going to work on that.
There's a very interesting Batman question, which we'll get to. I'm sure you can figure out part of the question based on the internet lately. We will then say, Joe, I'm not going to say how old you are because statutes of limitations are still in effect. But I do personally want to speak for myself to wish you the happiest of Manimal birthdays. Thank you for everything you do for the track. We are very honored to have you acting as our crazed leader, as it were. And none of this would happen without you and I working together. But I follow your lead. And happy birthday, good sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. My goodness. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me here in the chat room, in the internets and on the YouTubes. You guys are the best. I love doing this kind of thing. It got me, and from what I've heard, a lot of people through the whole quarantine deal for a lot of months. Just getting to see you guys and getting to hang out for about an hour or so was just the best thing. So thank you for watching these things, and thank you for suggesting things and having fun with us once a week. And it sounds like we're going to stop doing it, but we're not. We're going to be back next week. But I actually was saving a cool story for the very end.
Lay it out.
It's a short story, but my child and librarian Stephanie, one of the top 2 librarian Stephanies, our child Quinlan Paige Crowe. She just turned 18. She is starting college in the fall.
Oh.
Her
She can't be 18. That would mean we're
900 years old, exactly. But she is starting college in the fall, and of course, Quinn Crowe is, although her full name is Quinn. Why am I babbling about my own child?
You're going senile.
Your parent.
Yes, as soon as the changeover to the new age happens, I went. But her name is Quinn Crowe, and she just got her. She starts college in the fall at University of North Alabama, and she got word about her roommate for this fall, and her roommate's name is Harley.
Yes.
Nice.
It's 8.
Her roommate's name is Harley, and she, I wish you could have seen her face. She was glowing. Somebody at University of North Alabama who's choosing roommates goes down the list and goes, I have to do it. Guys, come over. And I can imagine they're circling her. Look, here's Harley and here's Quinn. And they're like, no. Like, yeah, we have to.
You have to make a plaque for them now to put on their door.
Yeah. So I can't wait to meet Harley.
That's amazing.
And I'm so happy. Quinn is happy. It's going to be great.
It's going to be. There's kids across the hall from them named Commissioner and Gordon.
Yes.
I'm afraid. What if the admissions counselor is the Joker? That's what I'm afraid of. It could happen. But guys, again, thank you. Let's go around. Everybody, tell us where on the internet you can be found.
Sure. Well, you can find me right here, flopcast.net. My podcast is the Flopcast. Well, Kevin was just on the Flopcast with me a couple weeks ago to talk about the creepy nightclubs of Rhode Island. And the birthday boy here was just on the Flopcast recently to talk about the Love Boat. So silly things happen there all the time.
I have been exiled from the Flopcast. I know what I did.
Oh, we're coming for you, Gary.
Kevin.
Gleamingthetube.net is where you can find me. It's a podcast with skateboard movies, although we're taking a couple weeks off because my work has blown up. So I'm dealing with that.
All right. And Elizabeth.
Again, I am an internet ghost haunting the interwebs since 1994. Nice. And despite the fact I have no solid internet presence, hence the ghost title.
Lola.
You can find me as Lola Strickland and Lola Lariscy because I can never make up my mind. I'm 2 people. Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff.
All right. And you can find me here on the Twitter at Gary_Mitchel. You can find me here every Thursday with Joe and at DragonCon live and in the flesh when it happens in the fall. And you can also hear me on the latest episode of Execute Chapter 66, a Star Wars fiction podcast, where we talk about the book of short stories from a certain point of view. So there's your plug, Ryan.
The check is in the mail.
Yes.
But guys, thank you very much. We will see you next week. Our topic next week is
from
Dads.
Darth. Oh, go ahead, Elizabeth.
Oh, I'm sorry. No,
what it is.
it's best dads in sci-fi, and I'm stoked.
Yes, Darth Vader to dark side.
That's right. The best dads in sci-fi. Very excited. So join us next week when Gary will say,
Dadder, I barely know her.
if we weren't done, I would boot you.
Wah, wah,
Why is this happening? Why? This
You
it
know
was
why.
my birthday, Gary.
You deserved it.
See you guys next week.
Bye.
Happy birthday, Joe.
Happy birthday.
And we didn't sing. We didn't sing.